the head of the valley lies the 10th century church of St. Ethelreda. Still solid and robust, it was built over the remains of an earlier Roman temple. Looking over the valley and across the surrounding modern village of White Notley, we sweep down across an ancient trackway to the floor of the valley, where a modern footbridge traverses the ancient ford, where once yeoman farmers drove their oxen-drawn carts through a shallow river to ascend on the opposite bank and continue onwards up a gentle slope and along a well-defined muddy track that is believed in certain circles to be at least 800 years old. Across the 19th century railway line, the track leaves behind grassy plains and leads into a cornfield, where a narrow track takes you beyond the busy road and into the grounds of Cressing Temple, where still standing are two ancient Templar-built barns, one of whom holds the title of being the oldest timber-frame barn in the world. But these are the only visible Templar legacies left to see, and here is a brief history to explain why. King Henry II first granted the Templars land across England in the middle of the 12th century, with Cressing Temple being the earliest and the largest estate in England. The manor of Cressing was granted to the Knights Templar in 1136 by Matilda Boulogne. Some time before his death in 1255, the Templar Peter de Rossa added over 100 acres of the manor of Rivenhall to Cressing, a parish in which he was parson and lord. The Templars' influence in the locality was palpable. All of the neighbouring villages, including White Notley, were controlled by them, and 160 tenant farmers worked the land growing crops and raising herds, of which rent was paid to the vastly expanding coffers of the order to fund campaigns in the Middle East. In total, the Templars possessed in their Essex estate over 1,400 acres of arable land. The manor had a mansion house, bakehouse, brewery, dairy, granary, smithy, gardens, a dovecot, a watermill, and a windmill, with a chapel and associated cemetery dedicated to St. Mary. In 1309, the Templars were suppressed by King Edward II, and all of their lands and possessions were granted to their brother order, the Knights Hospitaller. It was targeted in 1381 during the Peasants' Revolt, when on Monday the 10th of June of that year, a large group of rebels attacked Cressing and carried away armour, vestments, gold and silver and other goods to the value of £20 belonging to the Hospitallers, and burned books to the value of 20 marks. And at the same time, they also attacked neighbouring churches, such as that at nearby Cressing. Cressing Temple was dissolved in 1540, and on the 8th July 1541, King Henry VIII granted lordship of Cressing and 500 of Witham to Sir William Hughes and John Smith, one of the barons of the Exchequer. John Smith's family held the manor until 1657. Following the Reformation, there was a mansion house on the site, now called the Great House, but it was demolished in the 18th century, and only the farmhouse, granary, wagon lodge and stable yard remains, in addition to which are two large Templar barns. Today the site is owned and controlled by Essex County Council, and the large Templar barns are Grade 1 listed structures open to the public to view. In 1848, a railway line was opened across the trackway from White Notley to Cressing Temple, and access to walkers still continues today, with people using this as a safe crossing point, although it is not known how many people may have died constructing it, or indeed crossing it. From inquiries and reference in old maps, it would appear that the medieval trackway may have existed for 800 years, firstly servicing a route from the fields and village of White Notley during the era of the Templars, and today is a public footpath used by hundreds of hikers every year. It is at this railway crossing point I intended to reach out to Spirit, and with that the hope that Spirit would want to speak. Well, here I am, back at this Stargate which crosses the railway line. Trains flow through here once every hour. It's a particularly quiet line. In fact, the nearest station up the road is White Notley, which is reputedly the least used railway station in Great Britain. But I can say for certain that trains pass through here every hour. The railway line was the construction of the Victorians, which completely cut through this medieval trackway. And one can almost sense the history just being here and feeling the ambience of this particular location. And I'm particularly drawn to the railway line. How many men died constructing it? So really I'm examining with a ghost box not just the history of the Templars and the people that have traversed this trail for over 800 years, but more importantly the men that may have died in the construction in this railway line, or perhaps a railway accident, who knows. But anyway, without further ado, it's slowly getting dark. I'm hopefully going to get this session completed before it's too dark, so let's commence with it. And let's hope something really interesting comes through on the ghost box. My name is Chris. I've come here in love, light and peace. I just wish to make friendly and peaceful contact with any spirits, any persons in spirit that still come here, that still pass through here. People that walk up here every day in their lives over the last 800 years. Or perhaps anybody that was involved and died working on the railway line during its construction, or perhaps later crossing the railway line. Is there anybody here who would like to make their presence known to me? Could you tell me your name, please? I can hear a lady. What is your name, please? Are there any godly Christian folk that come through here in spirit, please? Could you tell me your name? I can hear a man there. Could you tell me your name, sir? No. No, okay. Don't you want to talk to me? Surely there must be somebody here who would like to talk to me. Could you tell me your name, please? Did I hear Juliet? I have to make a point here. I can't actually hear with crystal clarity what you're responding with, and it's only when I sit down later and enhance the sound, the audio that I'm recording, that I can actually listen to your voice. Are there any navvies who were employed on the construction of the railway line here during the Victorian era? Anybody that may have been killed? Could you tell me your name, please? Or your names? I get the feeling that somebody died crossing this point. Is there anybody perhaps more recently that have passed over that still come here? Could you tell me your name, please? I don't mean you any disrespect. I'm not here to offend you in any way. There's a lady there. Could you tell me your name, please? Is there anybody who wishes to speak to me? Could you say yes or no? Thank you. If I can explain to you, the reason I'm doing this is that I have an interest in the history of this trackway, which at one time was a major route between Cressing Temple, the Knights Templars and the Knights Hospitallers, and the village of White Notley, which I understand escaped the plague, hence its name White Notley. And what I'm trying to ascertain, if any of you could tell me your story, your history, and your memories of this place. Could you do that for me, please?
Yeah.
I don't wish to sound obstructive, or I don't want to get in the way of whatever you folks are doing in spirit. I just want to try and make communication. There's somebody else here now, I can hear you. Can you tell me your name, please? An aircraft flying overhead. Was anybody stabbed or murdered here? Or shot? Could you tell me your name, please? Is there anybody who wishes to speak to me? I can hear somebody talking, I can hear you, but there's a lot of sound from an airplane, aircraft flying over. Is there any goodly Christian folk here, please? Anybody connected with the church? Could you tell me your name, please? I heard your voice there. It's a lot clearer than the others, but I can't hear the detail. Can someone tell me your name, please? I heard a lady speak then. Did you say your name, please, madam? My name is Christopher, or Chris if you prefer. Did I hear somebody say the name was Frank? Are there any ladies here who wish to speak to me? Any ladies here? That sounded an Irish voice. Are there any Irish folk here, please? Anybody involved with the railway line? Can you tell me your names, please? I keep hearing somebody saying no in a very hurt kind of way, and I don't mean to offend you. Why won't you say your name? Are you ashamed? Sorry, I missed that. I know that these devices work, I know that you can communicate, I know that you haven't got vocal boxes, sound boxes, but you can use this noise from the radio and you can project that noise and construct words from it. Just try it, it works. I heard something there. Yeah, a very deep voice. What is your name, sir? The man with the deep voice. Please don't be shy. Are there any people here who died from the plague? Are there any people who were buried nearby? Could I ask if there's any children here, please? I heard a child's voice saying, "What is your name, please?" I certainly heard a young girl or a young boy. What's your name, please? My name is Chris. Or Christopher. Could you speak to me, please? I'm interested in the history of this trackway, which spans back some 800 odd years. I just wondered if any of those of you that travelled here each day, went through here, would like to speak to me. Or if anybody that was involved in the construction of the railway line would like to speak to me. Is that possible, please? What was that? I heard your voice there, sir. Did you say Christian? Are you allowed to speak to me? Is there somebody who's stopping you from talking to me? You love what? What did you used to love? Could you share a little bit more about yourself, please, sir? Are there any ladies here who would like to talk to me? Could somebody tell me their names, please? Prue? Or True? I'm not sure. Somebody laughing. Is there something that amuses you? Same voice again. No. Who's Mr. Misery Guts? Can you tell me your name, please? Have you a message to the world that you would like to express? Is there something you would like to make as a statement? Could you share that with me, please? I just would love to know who you are. I'd love to know a little bit more about you, about your history, about your life. And only you can tell me. Use the sound from the radio frequencies, that noise that you can hear, and use that sound to construct words. You can do it. Many others have. So could you share that with me? Something about yourself, please? My name is Christopher, or Chris. Could you tell me your names, please? Could you say something that you would want me to know? Do you want me to stay or do you want me to go? If you want me to stay, can you tell me you want me to stay? If you want me to go, can you tell me? Are you happy for me to be here to communicate with you? Somebody was trying to get through there. Can you try harder? I know it's not easy. I don't think that you're shy. I don't know what it is. But I certainly would love to hear from you. Are really nice ladies here? In fact, are there any nice people here? Is there anyone who has a message they would like me to pass on for them? Are there any pilgrims that pass through here on their way to the Crescent Temple or to the mansion house which used to exist there after the Templars and the Knights Hospitallers? I seem to have a crow in the background, which adds a certain ambience to this, I suppose. Well, I have to be going shortly because it's getting cold being sat here. And like yourselves, I have to keep warm, as you know. Is there anybody who wishes to say something to me before I go? Is there an aircraft passing over? Is there anybody who wishes to share a story with me? Would like to say something before I go? The cherry blossom is falling off the trees here now. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go very shortly, so unless somebody wants to say something before I go, could you do so now, please? I'm sorry to have troubled you. I didn't mean to interfere with you in any way. I felt it unlikely that I would be able to communicate with anybody who passed over 600 to 800 years ago. It's a very beautiful place here. It really is a beautiful place. If this is where you prefer to go, then you've got a very lucky place to go to. Anyway, I wish you no malice, no ill intent whatsoever. I just thank you for allowing me to be sat here to communicate with you. And I thank you for that. Thank you.